happening? I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm back again. I'm a different kind of victim. Today, we're going to be discussing my new saying that I want to hear everybody say from now on. What is that saying? It is, hear me roar. No more. Nada. Enough. The first subtitle of that would be no excuse for abuse. What does that mean? What's the problem with making excuses for abuse? Does that happen? We think, no, that doesn't happen. I don't make excuses for abuse. Oh, but our society does. More than we realize. Way too often. So how do we make excuses for abuse? They do it in the mental health field. Yeah, way too often. It's almost like they say one thing, but then do the opposite. So what do they do in the mental health field that makes excuses for abusers consistently? I'll tell you right now, they'll say, well, they're emotionally immature. They have a substance abuse problem. They have a mental illness. They probably weren't raised right. They're raised to be like that. The list goes on and on. Stop it. Enough is enough. We already know that phrase. Now we're going to be using the phrase of hear me roar. No more. No more excuses for abusers. What's another thing in the mental health field that we're taught? We're taught that we teach our clients that they have control over their actions, behaviors. So, saying you have control over your actions and behaviors, yet saying, well, that abuser is emotionally immature, they have issues, blah, blah, blah. So you're saying one thing, but giving excuses. How is that teaching people that they are responsible for the actions they choose to do? It doesn't, because you're giving them excuses. People are they do it already. Like I learned in my mental health classes and sexual abuse that many sexual offenders will go to court and they'll stand there in front of the judge and they'll actually get less time by doing this. They'll say, I have a mental illness. I'm sick. Oh, well, guess what? I have a mental illness too. But does that give me the right or an excuse to go out and harm another person? I'm sorry. Well, that's an insult to all people who have a mental illness. Because just because I have a mental illness doesn't mean I don't have the ability to think for myself and not want to harm another person. No excuse. It has nothing to do with a person having a mental illness. The only time I give people some leeway would be if they have a more severe type of intellectual disability, where they're not able to cognitively think and make those types of decisions and don't realize what they're doing. Even people with an intellectual disability have the ability to do many things. And it all depends on how severe it is. There's different levels for having an intellectual this ability. So, what do we need to change? We need to change how people view abuse and how they see abusers. Just like bullying, they tell you, well, they give you all these excuses. It's almost like that movie, he's just not that into you. When a guy uses the, breakup line of, oh, it's not you, it's me. Or the, ah, you're just too good for me. You're smarter than me. All these bullshit lines of why they're breaking up with you. That's the same, as abusers, using some BS line as to why they do it, or even us giving them excuses. Oh, well, they must have been abused when they were younger. Ooh, that's a good one. Well, my mom's family comes from Poland, and they were slaves, and they were in those, war camps where they were held hostage. And many would think, oh, poor them. I could see why they ended up abusing their children. Ah. Well, guess what? I was raped. I was abused. Did I go on and abuse others? No, absolutely not. If I did, you know what? You know whose fault it would be? Not my abusers, not my rapists, not the men that sexually assaulted me or harassed me. No, it would be my fault. Not theirs. No, my fault. So today, I want everybody to think about this and think about how we're letting so many people slide and how it ends up harming others more. Innocent people, it harms them more. It harmed me more. People making excuses for my abusers. You know what? Sure, maybe my dad was possibly abused when he was younger or neglected. Same with my mother. Maybe she was raised that way to be like that. Tough. It's their fault, not how they were raised, not the people that raised them. They made that choice. Just like somebody has a choice to do drugs and pick up that, drug or cigarette or whatever. You have that choice. You made that choice to do it. You have the ability not to choose to do that. No excuses, period. So I'll end this with, let's start the new saying. Hear me roar. No more. No more excuses for abusers. Stop putting victims in a position where they'll end up getting harmed more because of people who think that way and will say that. It just makes the abuse continue more and more and spread more and more. Let's make a change and stop that from continuing. Let's make those people who make those choices to harm other innocent people pay for the choices they made and were able to make. Nothing else. No mental illness. No, they had their own problems. None of that BS. They made the choice. No more excuses. Nada. You pay for the choices you make. You are responsible for the choices you make in life. If you harm someone, you take that, and it is your fault. That's right, your fault. Nothing else. Period. So, please come with me and join me with the saying, hear me roar. No more. Do it for everybody. Do it for yourself. And realize that everybody deserves to be treated. And with respect, we want to be respected. We deserve to be respected. We are worthy We are all worthy. We are all important. We all deserve to be treated right. That's what we need to be taught. I'm Shelley Rothus. I am a different kind of victim. See you next time.